Hey everybody, Andrew here with Nashville Severe Weather. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Williamson County, and that was just issued. This is for a storm over eastern Hickman County, and this looks like a hailer, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail possible with it. The thing has been strengthening, and this thing is currently over the Duck River area of eastern Hickman County, and we'll be pushing up into Williamson County before long, mostly southwestern Williamson County up toward Boston, along 840 down to the Smarten community and Greenbrier and places like that. So let me change a setting here on the radar so they can go nuts when we zoom in. So Greenbrier, Smarten, Boston, Garrison Springs, Pinewood Road, those are areas in Williamson County, all the way over to Thompson Station and Spring Hill are some of the areas that could get this storm. Pretty strong storm coming through Duck River in eastern Hickman County. Could be some hail with it. It looks like some 1-inch hail, a good possibility there. Yeah, decent hail signature there. Quarter-size hail, a good possibility in that storm there east of, or right around Duck River, rather, over there in Hickman County. So that'll be moving up through Murray County and eventually into Williamson County. So this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 6:15. So 30 minutes now left on this warning. And so that's what we're looking at. So welcome. Glad you're with us as we look at this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, Davidson County's not included. This is Davidson County's had a lot of rain up there, a lot of storms, but it is definitely a Williamson County problem with this particular cell. The ones up in Davidson County have basically moved on out. And it's a lot less noisy up there in Davidson County than it was here just a little bit ago. So that's good. But now we got another round coming in. Really, Williamson County's first round. Williamson County hasn't really gotten in on the storm action this afternoon yet. Mostly been a Davidson County thing, but not anymore. So first round of storms coming into Williamson County now. This looks like a hailer. And it looks like some gusty winds are a good possibility with it as well. But really, the hail threat would not surprise me whatsoever if
Testing.
we have quarter-size hail in there around Duck River. That'll be moving up into Greenbrier, the Pinewood Road area off of 840 in Williamson County, Garrison Springs, Boston, Smarten, Burwood, Beechwood Plantation, all the way up to Leapers Fork. So if you're in Franklin, I would prepare for a hailstorm. Man, I was just talking this morning to a lady who said that, she was in Franklin last year? They had that big hailstorm in Franklin, and she said, "Are we going to have that again today?" I said, "I really don't think so. I hope not." I sure hope not. But it does look like a hailstorm, at least of some sort, moving toward Franklin generally here over the next 30 minutes to hours. So I sure hope that my word holds with this poor lady who asked me if Franklin was going to have a hailstorm today. So it looks like severe thunderstorm warning covers basically areas southwest of Franklin. They're in Williamson County. And that's where the threat exists for 1-inch hail, quarter-size hail, and or 60-mile-per-hour winds. So what we want to do here is we want to have your reports. So as this comes in, just send in your reports using hashtag TSpotter. Or DM us on Instagram. Any of those ways that you normally get reports to us, that would be very helpful if you could do that today. That would be very, very helpful. All right. So those of you up in Davidson County, been kind of loud up there today. Y'all have had the round of storms earlier. A lot of rain, heavy, very, very heavy rain, and didn't last too long. But it moved out of there pretty quick. Right. Let's see here. What's some comments from the Weather Service? See what they're saying. Not much. They said they were going to issue a warning on that storm in southern Hickman. That's where it was at the time. Hail the main threat, but gusty winds also possible with it. So looks like hail's the main threat with this one. Has all the looks of a good hailstorm. Does look like it's getting its act together a little bit better even as it moves up toward us.
Also, Andrew, seeing some pixels around 40 miles an hour on TBNA.
Yeah, so some gusty winds possible with it as well. There's there are a couple of things worse than just hail. There certainly are really a long list of things that are worse than hail. However, one thing that is significantly worse than hail is wind-driven hail. And so we really hope that this is not actually too bad of wind-driven hail. Marlo asked a good question here, or made a comment here. So I can explain what this is. Sirens just blasted 3 times in South Brentwood near Ravenwood High School. So those actually aren't tornado sirens. What you just heard there is a system that's in place at Williamson County schools, particularly the high school football fields, and that is a lightning warning system that Williamson County Schools has at the high school football fields, and so that's what you heard there. And good system they've got that warns everybody around there of lightning. So that is what that was. If I had to take a guess, we've heard those at different high schools. All right, so severe thunderstorm warning continues. This storm is about halfway through the warning geographically, and it looks like this warning is in effect until 6:15, so about another 20 minutes on it. And then we'll see what the storm does, whether it keeps its strength, whether it weakens, whether it strengthens, whatever it does. And then we'll see if the Weather Service extends this warning further up into Williamson and on into Davidson County, or if it weakens. Hope it weakens. Would rather not have hail today, but looks like we might get some, especially down in southwestern Williamson County. So severe thunderstorm warning continues. Let's talk about what to do with this. If you're in Franklin, if you're in Franklin and you've got a car that you just really don't want to get hailed on, you got time. If you do it now, you've got time to go deal with that. Put that car inside, get it in the garage or whatever it is. But if you're down in like Thompson Station or near 840 out in the more rural areas, you really don't have time. There's a lightning threat out there. Wouldn't fool with it. But if you're in Franklin, you've got just a little bit of time if you want to take care of that. So hail does look like the main threat with this. And looks like it'll continue off to the northeast, so through Boston into Franklin, and then we can kind of see here with the motion kind of where it's headed. So really Franklin and Nolensville, it looks like, and possibly on up into Brentwood and Antioch. We'll just kind of see how it moves, and we'll be able to tell a little bit later exactly the areas that are going to be hit. So, but if you extrapolate off to the northeast, again, if you if you're in Nolensville, for example, and you just really would like to get your car inside, go ahead and do it. Now's the time. Let's see here. There we go. Hey, Will. He's back. All right. Well, severe thunderstorm warning continues till 6:15. and that is for southwestern Williamson County. Davidson County is not included in this. You kind of had your storms earlier, might get some more later, but you're not included in this one yet. I would expect if it continued off to the northeast that places like Antioch, the rural hill area, Percy Priest Lake, areas like that might be included eventually in this, but it looks like this thing's making a move more to the east. It might just clip southeastern Davidson County if it gets on up that far. Not a tornado threat with this. This is definitely a hail straight line wind thing. Looks like the hail sizes have come down just a little bit. But yeah, definitely still seeing hail. Definitely seeing hail in there.
Andrew, what product was that? Was that maximum estimated hail size or vertically integrated liquid?
That was MEHS. Yeah. So it's estimating right around 1 inch hail. Yeah, so the radar has an algorithm here. It looks for maximum estimated hail size, and it thinks it'll be right there around an inch. Tom Johnstone joins us. Hey, Tom.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Tom's joining us. Tom is, I should say, meteorologist Tom Johnstone is joining us. So glad he's with us. He's been watching these storms as we have, and we are watching this severe thunderstorm coming in. Tom, thing looks like a hailer to me. What do you think?
Yeah, especially you can see it's really developing on that leading edge there. So it's way out in front of everything else. And this is a nice updraft. I was looking at some of the radars around us to see the size. It's not a huge core, but everything in that lower level suggests, marble to maybe the size of quarters, maybe a little larger than quarter size hail in that core. That's going to come right through southern Williamson County.
So it looks like Boston crossing 840. Those that are driving on 840 will have a surprise. This thing really, it won't last long. It's one of these very thin gradient storms that it's in and out of there quickly. And so by the time it crosses 840, and that should happen pretty fast, and then it'll continue Boston into Leapers Fork and into Franklin. So it looks like hail sizes holding steady here. Still seeing good possibility of hail here, especially right on the leading edge of that storm there.
It'll probably be a lot of small hail, like a lot of pea size and a little bigger, but a few bigger chunks in there as well. So, and because it's hardly rooted in the surface. It's kind of an elevated storm. It's ripping along. It's really moving along with the environmental wind. So it's really ripping.
So we think this thing will be fast. By the time it moves in, the thing will be moving out. By the time you look outside and go, oh, it's hailing, it should be moving on out. Samantha says we have hail in Smarden. All right, Smarden's down here right there. So there's Smarden. And I found out that existed by driving through there one day. And so hail there in Smarden. All right, so if you could compare that to the size of a coin, that'd be helpful. And that'd be great. Let us know what size it is. Hail size is still holding up here according to radar. And again, severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 6:15. So the Weather Service will decide probably before that time whether this will continue on in through Williamson County or whether to let it go. But part of that has to do with your reports. So hashtag TSpotter on Twitter, on X. That's a good way to get reports to us. Also DM us on Instagram and all the other normal ways on your different platforms that you get reports to us. Very, very helpful. Will is over there. Will's going to take reports for us, get those to the Weather Service, and that helps them a great deal when it comes to making decisions on whether to extend warnings or to let them go. Um, so that is helpful for sure.
Andrew, see the forecasting nowcasting thread.
Okay.
While
So
you're looking at that, Andrew, I was going to say there is a little bit of wind in there. Certainly, you can see from TBNA, it's 40 miles an hour or so, maybe 45, along with the threat for large hail. So, pretty good, strong storm there moving into the county.
So some of you may be wondering, who is this guy Tom, and why is he on our stream? And how does he know so much about what these storms are doing? So Tom is the newest member of our team. Comes to us by way of Ohio, but has a long history in Nashville as a former warning coordination meteorologist here who helped give us our start, took a chance on giving us a little bit of access about, gosh, I don't know what, 13 years ago, David. And so, Tom, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, I'm Tom Johnstone. At 33-year National Weather Service career just ended. Worked with David back in the early 2010s took his idea, and we kind of worked together with the National Weather Service. I think what he does and what this group does with their volunteer heart is bring critical weather information down to street, local, school, neighborhood level. And that's what people need. And I saw that as I got into it. So being able to track this storm as it moves up into Williamson County and give folks, 5-minute updates on the neighborhoods, the schools, everything that's going to be affected by this, not super life-threatening storm, but certainly if you're outside, they're going to experience hail, some lightning, and some gusty winds. So it's just nice to see how this all works. So glad to be part of it, Will.
Well, we really appreciate you, and we're glad you're here. So Tom's last posting was meteorologist in charge at what was your office? Kettering?
Wilmington, Ohio. Yeah.
Wilmington, Ohio. Before that, meteorologist in charge Tallahassee, meteorologist in charge Corpus Christi. So lots of strong leadership experience, and obviously, very, very strong meteorology skills. So Tom's here to keep us in line and make sure we're giving you guys the best information.
I'm a weather nerd at heart. That's who I am. So, but the ability to take what I've learned and maybe help some people, that energizes me and motivates me. So I'm glad to be part of this.
Well, we're glad you're here, and hopefully the audience finds you as valuable as we do. Looks like they shortened up that severe thunderstorm warning, Andrew.
Yeah, but a new one was just issued. So brand new one coming out now for both Williamson and Davidson counties. Hopefully you'll hear me a little better. Maybe.
You always sounded good to me, Andrew. So
okay, well, if it's not better, I'll do some other stuff. But hopefully it's a little better. I made some changes.
Yeah.
New severe thunderstorm warning now out for Williamson and Davidson. So they've decided to extend this warning further out, and this will cover Franklin, all of Nolensville, all of Brentwood, and basically areas on the southeast quadrant of Davidson County. So we're starting to get some pictures in over on X of some hail reports. Got some pictures coming in of small hail. That particular hail would not be considered severe. It's a pea size, maybe just a little bit bigger, and that's a good sign if that's the largest hail that fell. So hopefully the hail size does stay down and not get up to quarter size. But that is hate to see hail falling, but at least in those pictures it wasn't too large. So new severe thunderstorm warning now. You see the polygon here. It does go on into Rutherford County as well. So southeastern Davidson and then most of Williamson County, including Franklin. So a lot of lightning in this thing, man. I mean, the lightning has really picked up in this very small, compact storm that has just moved through Boston. It's moving through areas like, Highway 246. I think that's Carter's Creek Pike. And that's going to be moving on up into Franklin. So if you're in Franklin, you are probably going to get yourselves a hailstorm here in just a little bit. And we haven't seen any pictures yet.
Actually, we just got one in from that hail core that went over Smarden.
Well, I was going to say we haven't seen any yet that are quarter size yet.
Yeah,
That I've
no, we
seen.
haven't. The only thing that we're seeing so far is what we would call pea size.
Yeah, so the reports so far have been small. That's good, but we are very, very interested in your reports as this storm comes through. And I imagine, just taking a guess here, that as this comes through Franklin, we will have a lot of reports, hopefully, that come in to help us out to understand more fully what's going on. So severe thunderstorm warning in effect here for we've had a lot of people join here just in the past couple of minutes as that warning was issued. So let's sort of back out. I'm going to turn off the lightning to get that scary red square off of there, and or we can just sort of see the warnings here. And we have one main severe thunderstorm warning, and that is this big box here from that covers Franklin, Nolensville, Brentwood, and then the southeastern part of Davidson County, from Percy Priest Lake down through Antioch, Cane Ridge, and over into Laverne and Smyrna as well down there in Rutherford County. So storms, it's very clear where they anticipate this storm going as it pushes into Franklin, drops some hail. We hope the thing falls apart, but definitely, as Tom was saying there just a moment ago, it's got some energy there with it, and Tom, it's interesting to me just the amount of lightning that has picked up in this storm. Can you speak to a little bit about maybe the trends on this thing here?
Yeah, well, I mean, storms with a lot of ice are going to have a lot of lightning, and this is a good updraft with a lot of ice, so it's a prodigious lightning producer. But I'm also seeing some 55 to 60 mile an hour winds now over the far set, just entering that new warning polygon. There's some bad velocity data up to the northwest of that, but if you look back in the core of that storm, there's some 50 to 60 mile an hour winds southwest of Franklin. Right in there.
Yeah, this is TBNA. We're switched over to TBNA radar, and yeah, there's a little core here. Just it just covers a little bit of area, but of course the 50, 60 mile per hour winds can cover a larger area. We've seen that happen before, where radar shows just a couple little speckles of 60 mile per hour winds, and then it really ends up being a larger area. But TBNA here indicating on this scan just a minute ago that right there around Keystone, right there around Coleman Road and Kitchell Road, definitely could be some 60 mile per hour winds.
And a lot of that stuff looks like an artifact. That looks like what we call side lobe contamination. It's outside the better reflectivity, but the stuff further south looks legitimate.
Yeah, so it could be kind of a mess there on the radar. That could be legit, not legit. Right there around West Haven, Franklin Green.
But the stuff down further south there looks legit to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with you there. So, still some purples in here. You see the color. Just if a lot of times people will just say, hey, I don't even know really what the colors mean on the radar. Okay, this is just a scale of the higher reflectivities. So the radar beam's literally bouncing off objects like rain or ice or whatever it is in the air. And it's just measuring the decibels. It's measuring the reflectivity off of those objects. And so the brighter the colors here, the purples, the reds, that's higher reflectivity. And that would tell us that in this particular storm, there's probably a good bit of ice in there. All right, so heavy rain, some ice coming out of it, and that is definitely an issue coming through Boston on up to Franklin here in just a few minutes. I don't understand the thing about my mic levels. I don't understand what I did here, but
it is super duper low.
Really?
Yeah, do you have a gain on the mic itself instead of just in Restream or in OBS?
No, I'll work on it.
All right.
Let's see here.
Maybe if you yelled.
I've been doing that all day.
Looking at the latest correlation coefficient, still looks like potential for at least quarter-size hail going to move through the south part of Franklin here in the next few minutes. And there's still that wind signature in there. It's no longer that 60 mile an hour. It's more of a broad 40 to 50 mile an hour with a few higher gusts, but it's a solid low end severe storm at this point. Get your cars under cover if you can in Franklin. You can.
Yeah, so Franklin, just a matter of minutes before that hail is there.
All right, how's this? Is this any better? Yeah. I hate technology.
All right, this is some really big hail, guys. It's hitting my house right now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, David, you are right in the worst.
Holy smokes!
You're right in that like CC less than 0.8. So that's quarters maybe.
It looks a little bit less than quarters, Tom.
Yeah, that would be the max you would expect. What I'm seeing.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely big. It looks like a bunch of marbles, and I'd say it's a pile of marbles.
Yeah.
It looks like God went to the Sonic ice machine and got a bunch of, and then just poured the cup over my house.
That's such a great visual. I can exactly see how big that hail is now.
Yeah. So of course, but scaled, right?
Yep.
So it's been a long time since I've seen this much hail come down at my place. And it's a pretty wind blown, so it looks like it's blowing. It's hard to tell from what I'm looking at because I'm kind of away from windows. But it looks to be about, I don't know, 45-mile-an-hour wind maybe blowing it. So it's blowing it sideways.
Not quite a hurricane hailer, but a pretty good storm.
Yeah, not quite. And in fact, my neighbor across the street just sent me a video of it, and I'll put it up here on socials for y'all. Of course, with her permission. The kids are having a good time over there looking at it. I will say it arrives on you very suddenly. It's not like it rains a little bit, y'all, and then oh, I'm gonna hear it. I mean, your first indication that it's on you is when it's on you. And then yeah, go ahead, Tom.
One of the things you'll hear me talk about is the reflectivity gradient. And you can see the leading edge of that storm. It goes from no reflectivity to 60 plus dBz reflectivity in a mile or half a mile. So
yep.
That's a mark of a strong storm, that tight gradient of reflectivity.
It's over now.
Yeah.
The hail has ended. It's just a little bit of rain on the backside. So it's about 2 or 3 minutes of excitement. And then it's gone. But certainly you want to stay indoors. Y'all don't want to get hit on the head with this thing. So we got this hailstorm here coming. Looks like it's just punched through. The radar image you see on your screen is old. The leading edge of this storm is actually inside Mac Hatcher. It's right over Liberty Elementary in Franklin, over to Franklin High School. Mm-hmm. It's about to cross over Centennial High School. And pretty soon it'll be over by the AMC Theater in Franklin, over by Nissan HQ, over by A Game. It'll be into Cool Springs here momentarily. Looks like Andrew's lost his connection.
Andrew is fist fighting his microphone right now.
Yeah, he's fighting his microphone. So there's the updated screen there. Will, you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning. That's what we're covering right now. Moving in through Cool Springs, just came through Franklin. The Weather Service impacts described as hail damage, both to vehicles and to roofs, siding, trees. Locations impacted: Brentwood, Laverne, Antioch, Triune, Berry Hill, Leapers Fork, really a lot of us. You can see that this storm has spread all the way from the, as far west as almost Legends Ridge to as far east as, what is that, Nolensville Road. So pretty good size storm. Now the hail core really only in the center of it. So on this image, we're looking at the leading edge where those deepest, darkest colors are. 1 inch hail will absolutely damage your vehicle, will absolutely damage your roof. And that's pretty much the maximum size that we're looking at here. If you do have photos of hail, if you experience it, it's happening at your house or wherever you are, if it's safe to do so, take a photograph of it. Make sure you include your location and send it to us on X using hashtag TSpotter. Would also love for you to compare that hail to the size of a coin. Is it a dime, a penny, a quarter, etc.?
Yeah, I'm gonna send out these photos here. Let's see.
And so, seeing reports come in, small pellet-sized hail, that's exactly what most of it is going to be. What we're really worried about are the hailstones that we're able to go up a little bit higher and get a little bit bigger and come down of a size that's able to damage your car, damage your roof, etc.
Local children are wanting to sled on the hail now, as not advised.
That is not advised. No,
That's how
especially
much hail has fallen here.
And so if you do see hail and you want to go outside and see it, I get it. However, while this is a hailstorm, it's also a pretty decent lightning storm as well. So if you're hearing thunder, do not go outside and start looking at the hail. We want everybody to stay safe. Looks like Nolensville, Governor's Club. I'm definitely worried about Governor's Club and a lot of those neighborhoods to the east of Franklin Road going up into Brentwood, that Wilson Pike area. If your car's parked at Brentwood Skate Center, calling out some landmarks, you're going to want to move, right? Make sure your car is getting under cover as best you can.
Yeah, it's probably too late now for that, though. As fast as this thing's going,
Yep. So
that thing may already be at the skate center, hitting across the Lansdowne, Brentmead. I mean, I think if you're in Cane Ridge, you might have time, and Antioch, you have time, and Creve Hall, you probably have time, but not much time to get it under. I mean, this thing gets on you in a hurry.
Yeah. So
and,
beyond where it is now, coming through South Brentwood, really worried about the Brentioch area, Nippers Corner area. It looks like it's headed for you next. Friend of the program, Laura Marler, just put into the NWS chat that they've got quarter-size hail at the intersection of Carruthers and East McEwen in Williamson County. So it looks like at least one validated report of hail 1 inch or greater.
Yeah, radar supported that off and on the last 20 minutes or so, that hail getting up to the size of quarters, but a lot of small hail like people are seeing. So, and still seeing 40 to 45 mile an hour winds along that leading edge. So it's a good storm, and it's going to be out of Williamson County in 15 minutes at 6:30. Probably this thing is already over in Williamson, clipping the far southeast bit of Davidson, and then it's done.
Yeah. So Cane Ridge, Antioch, Laverne. Is Laverne technically Davidson? It's not, is it? It's
not.
Well, west of Laverne in Davidson County. This thing is on you. It is picking up some speed, isn't it? It made a big jump that last scan, didn't it, Tom?
Yeah, it's really rooted a little elevated, so it's moving along with very strong winds, and it's clipping.
So this storm's headed northeast. It's going to plow through an area between Governor's Club and Nolensville, and then cross into Davidson County, right over the TBNA radar and into the Cane Ridge, Antioch area. And then, like Tom said, it'll be out of here. It's moving at a pretty good clip. So I would say in the next 10 to 15 minutes, this storm will be out of our area. And once it does, we will turn our attention briefly to, what may come later on tonight. Some interesting things the guys have been talking about kind of in our behind the scenes chat. And so once we get this storm out of the way, we'll let David and Tom focus a little bit on what's to come tonight. Looks like popcorn seed size hail. That's a new one for me. I've never had someone call hail popcorn seed size. Hey, Miss Garmer. Popcorn seed size hail at Moore's Lane and Moreland Estates. So yeah, the bulk of the hail that we're going to see is going to be teeny, right? Sonic ice sized hail. What we're really worried about is that inside this storm, there's some hailstones that are a lot bigger and that can cause some damage.
I'm not sure this is going to get to Percy Priest. It looks like it's turning a little
It
bit
looks like
to
it's
the
gonna
right.
go east. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So in the path, an area, if you draw a line right now from Brentwood to Nolansville, that's where this storm is coming. It is a severe warned storm, mainly because of the threat of hail. We could see winds up to 60, although radar hasn't supported that, and I haven't seen any reports of wind damage so far. Maybe that will come after it. Looks like this thing is bifurcating a little bit as well.
That's an SAT word. Some of these returns are 70 dBZs here, which is in nerd. That's a pretty big storm for us. Just looking on the reflectivity, it happens a lot when you have a lot of ice aloft that's coming down. But please understand also that there's a lot of lightning out ahead of this, and some of these are those really big, loud, positive strikes. So even if you're not seeing the hail or in the rain now, please know that if you're in Nolansville or in Antioch or Cane Ridge over by Hickory Hollow, over into Lakewood Village, you are within the range of the lightning of this storm. So it looks like Andrew's back. Andrew, how you doing?
Hey, buddy.
I'm feeling good. I just don't know if y'all can hear me
Yeah.
at all.
You sound a lot better now.
Thanks. I just poured coffee all over my equipment. That seemed to help.
Good.
Yeah. We had hail at my house as well. It was exactly as y'all described, and I was right underneath some of those. Looks like some of those. At least 60 dBZ returns. May have barely missed the 70s, but yeah, it was pretty. Hailed hard for a minute. Now it's gone, and that was that. So hopefully we just. I'm sitting here looking at the pictures as well. I was looking while y'all were talking, and I'm literally seeing armfuls of hail. Like people have been picking that up,
Buckets of baby hail.
But it's all small so far. So that's good. So yeah, send us reports, and you're doing a great job of that. But keep it up, and especially we're especially interested if any hail was up in that quarter size range. That would confirm that it was severe size hail. Believe it or not, as loud as that thing was, it takes hail quarter size or larger to be considered severe. Around here, we just don't get a lot of hail. In comparison and relativity to other parts of the country, and so as loud as it is, it's kind of unusual. But yeah, it's just a lot of small hail. It looks like. So let's back out just a little bit. What do you say? Let's kind of get an overview of where we are. Still rain falling back there in Franklin, Leapers Fork, Thompson Station, down to Spring Hill. Still rain down there. Strong storm down there, way down south of Columbia. But this is by far our strongest storm right now. And it's that one coming right through Antioch, and that just left Nolansville, got up into Antioch. It's going to cross 24, actually probably crossing 24 now. This thing's moving fast. And it'll be crossing Murfreesboro Road there, around Laverne, all the way up toward probably Hickory Hollow area. Probably most of the hail will probably stay south of the Hickory Hollow area. And then move up toward Long Hunter State Park and Couchville Lake, and then it'll be out of here.
It really has made a right turn compared to even 5 minutes ago. It seems it's pushed a little bit. The heavier part is further east. It seems.
Yeah, I was thinking that the heaviest part of it might miss me, and I think it did to the north just a little bit, but I was a little surprised where I am. I'm a little further south and east than where I thought it would be, but it ended up coming through here, and that's all right. Nothing too bad out there.
So it looks
where
like,
we are.
Nolansville, Cane Ridge, Lenox
Yeah.
Village, all coming in. Carruthers.
Oh, paintball size. That's good. I haven't heard that one yet today. Paintball size. That was about right. That's what I saw bouncing off the roof. So, that's about right. Still some of those heavy returns coming in. Still got some of those white 71 DBZ returns. And again, I know as David was saying, for us that's pretty good. All right, you go out west of us into Arkansas, and you get into the plains and stuff, and you can get some of these 70 DBZ storms, no problem, out there with some of the hail they get. But for us around here, 70 DBZ is a pretty good storm, and even still now in that latest radar scan coming into Laverne, storm's about to cross Murfreesboro Road, and still some of those heavy returns there, up to about 70, 72 there. So a good storm, but at the moment, guys, it looks like we're avoiding damaging storm situation, right? The hail so far that we've seen really isn't going to damage much, but there's going to be a lot of it.
Still seeing, Andrew, some evidence of 50 to 55 mile an hour winds as well, especially on the southeastern part of that storm. It's got a little more velocity with it from TBNA. And if you look,
TBNA took it on the chin, right? I mean, this thing went right over TBNA.
Yep. So there's a little bit of wind with it, and so some of that wind out of over that you see there near Laverne might be an artifact, but the wind further south, Cane Ridge Park, those areas, those are legitimate channels of stronger winds. So nothing too severe, but certainly going to get people's attention.
Yeah, 40 mile per hour winds there pretty easily, and right as the storm was approaching TBNA, we saw some decent 58 mile per hour wind gusts. Yep. It wouldn't surprise me if let's see, Highway 253, that's Concord Road, right there around Concord Road, Governor's Club, where some of those heavy hail returns were. If some of that hail wasn't wind driven, probably some pretty decent wind gusts there around the neighborhoods there around Owl Creek. And in fact, that happened twice. So it looks like that was a pretty legit, around Chestnut Springs, Concord Road, Chestnut Springs, Bluff Road, Willamette, Bridgeton Park, those subdivisions there. Looks like there could have been some pretty decent wind gusts there with that. So that's a good point, Tom. That's something that while the hail may be subsevere, and I think all of it is that I've seen, and I could be wrong, but if the hail is subsevere, that's great, but we could have some wind gusts in there that might be severe and might, this has my attention down here. That's down south of Columbia. That's not close to us, but anyway, that's gonna miss us way to the east, but keep an eye on that down there.
So when I had a text here, when I say the word artifact as some might call it, the radar can actually occasionally get fooled, and it can report velocities that are actually occurring higher up in the storm and think they're closer to the surface. And that's what we're seeing out ahead of that to the northeast of where that core is. But when you go back under the storm core on that leading edge, those velocities are realistic. They're a couple hundred feet above the ground, but that's much more believable. The stuff that's a little further out. So
I can't wait for more of our followers to learn some more Tom lingo, things like Popeye arms
and the velocity smooch. I hope we don't have any velocity smooches around here.
Yes, and
I can assure you we will not have any of that today.
Yep.
No.
Valentine's Day, maybe.
Sounds like we need to make T-shirts. Let's see.
I mean, this thing's almost out of Davidson County, isn't it, Andrew? I mean, we're really close to being out.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the level 2 data was lagging behind. I remember right when I cut out there, radar was behind.
It
It
is.
was. It caught back up, and level 3 was
Okay.
always good, so we were good.
Okay, well, I switched over here to level 3, and it's a lot better. So, yeah, the thing is, just about out of here. Let me turn the radar off just a second. We can kind of see it's right around Lakewood Village. Going to cross Percy Priest Lake. Probably some hail around right around the Hobson Pike Bridge and Long Hunter State Park, Couchful Lake. Those areas around in there. Probably not much hail up further up the lake toward the dam. Looks like that's going to be mostly from the bridge back to the south and to the east. Leah says, there it is, setting off my security cameras near Four Corners Marina. Yeah, that's exactly where that is.
Yep.
Right over near
Yep.
Four Corners. So
You're not going to want to be on Priest Lake.
Four Corners is right there, Four Corners Marina, and there's the hail. That's it. And which I bet, I would just have to guess that being at Four Corners Marina, that hail would be pretty loud.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is a
hail
lot of
on the
metal on those roofs. A lot. I used to go down and eat lunch every week. I'd go down in the wintertime and have a bowl of soup on the lake. And, man, that's a lot of metal. And pretty loud, I'm sure. Yeah, this thing's about
It's
out
like-
of here, guys.
Kevin Smith over here on Twitter lost the cover to his big green egg. It is
Really?
Well, I mean, there's holes in it. I'll retweet it
Oof.
here.
Oh, the cover for it?
Yeah, the cover,
Oh,
not like the
sorry.
actual egg. I mean, now
That's
that
what I
would have
was.
been something.
Oh, I see it. I see the picture
That would
here.
be
Yeah,
some damaging hail. to
I
crack.
see the I see the picture you're talking about. I was thinking like the ceramic, the top. I was like, really?
Daggone.
That's not a good look for.
Yeah, this is the kind of hail that when it hits your roof, it rolls into your gutters, and then at the bottom of all your downspouts are just piles of hail everywhere.
I saw a few of the folks in the group here were asking about if this is the end of it, and there is more coming in, obviously. So if we zoom back out, you can see the front. The stuff in Southwest Tennessee has not looked real good. It's kind of that atmosphere is a little more worked over, but you can see there's still a front coming in. There still is some instability for our west. So this stuff has protected us a lot from additional storm intensification, but we're not totally out of the woods. So
Yeah,
look
Tom,
at more
so
of a. Yeah,
is
go
this
ahead,
one
David.
of those things? Yeah, sorry, Andrew. This is
No,
one of those
I'm pulling up
things
more
where
of a regional view.
any kind of latent instability that would try to have built in here has just been used up by the rain that we got an hour and a half ago up in Nashville and in Bellevue, and then this hailer came in and took up all the instability. And so when this next round kind of comes through, that front that you see on the screen that loops up near Paducah and over by Jackson, that cell in Memphis that was actually tornado warned there for a while. It looks like this is good news for us that this has come through and used up all the kind of like in A Christmas Story where they used up all the glue and he can't glue his lamp back together.
it's just like that. Yes.
He used up all the glue on purpose. So yeah, Tom, explain how that happens to people here.
Well, there is. I was gonna say there is still some instability. If you go back towards Dixon, Charlotte, up into Stewart County, and even Montgomery County, there's still a little bit of instability has set up over there. They haven't been as worked over, and that some of that moist air from earlier in Mississippi has worked its way up. So it's not completely out of the question that stuff won't hold together. And along that cold front, as we look back up there in south of Paducah, west of Bowling Green, you're going to get a little additional lift along that front. So you're going to get a little bit of the atmosphere kind of helping to give things a bit of a push. So I think it's unlikely. I think this has really helped us. All this precipitation and rain cooled air. But there will be another line of storms that we'll have to deal with in a couple hours. So something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, what we have up here, this is the what we call around here the storm food. This is our mean level cape, and so still we're kind of on the eastern side of that cape, that storm food, and still some back to the west, like Tom was saying. So we'll just kind of have to see how that evolves over the next few hours. Again, we're under that tornado watch until 11. And this is just kind of a wait and see, guys. Right? I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see how these storms sort of evolve. I mean, we got storms all the way back to Searcy, Arkansas, back there, back in White County, Arkansas, and so we're just gonna have to kind of wait and see how these rounds come together, if they come together.
Yeah, this initial stuff was what we would refer to as elevated. It was not really rooted, like the convection, the thunderstorms, not really rooted in the lowest parts of the atmosphere. They were driven by the warm air surging in here. The stuff that's going to come later will have a little more what we call surface-based instability to deal with. So that's why this first storm was mostly a hail threat with some wind. The instability was more aloft than closer to the surface. So that's certainly something to keep an eye on as the evening goes on.
Well, new severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for east of us. So over there in Wilson County, not surprising as that storm pushes into Gladeville and over toward Lebanon and out there toward Watertown. So new severe thunderstorm out there for Wilson County. That essentially puts an end to our threat of severe weather with this particular storm as that storm moves on over there into Wilson County. So we're just going to have to see, again, how the next rounds evolve. So I think the message here, guys, is we're going to just kind of have to wait and see what happens with subsequent rounds. Stay connected. Anytime there's a tornado watch in effect, as there is today till 11 o'clock, stay connected. Have a way to get warnings, because it could be a hailer, it could be a wind threat, it could be a tornado threat, although we think that threat's pretty low. We think that threat's pretty low today, but that threat is not zero. And so keep an eye out for that later on, potentially. Second thing is, send us those reports. You guys have been awesome. There have been reports pouring in. We love you guys for this. Y'all send this stuff in. This is so incredibly helpful to have this information from y'all. So using hashtag TSpotter on X or DM us on Instagram. Those are both useful ways to let us know what you have seen out there as far as the hail or the wind threat. We would especially be interested, like if you're in East Brentwood, for example. We think y'all got some pretty strong wind over there around Owl Creek, over on kind of the east side of Concord Road over there, in the neighborhoods, kind of the subdivisions around there, east of, say, like Sunset Road to the east. So we think y'all had some wind over there. And we'd love to know if y'all had any damage out that way from the wind. So reports are very important. And if you put it in our replies, we may or may not see it. We'll try to, but using hashtag TSpotter is a place for sure we will see it. All right. Anything else, guys, that I'm missing?
That's it.
No, we'll be back if we get a warning. Otherwise, we'll be on socials here the rest of the night.
Yeah, we'll do that.
This won't be an overnight thing. The models go to 10 or 11 before this thing is out. So I don't think this is going to be like a midnight, all-nighter thing for us. So, but stay connected. No tornado concern right now, but this isn't over. So we'll be with you.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you later.
Yep.